Hello, 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 and happy day to everybody. Welcome to the Theater Freedom Project. I am so happy today because we have a new author, Shannon Douglas, that is joining the Theater Freedom Project. Welcome, Shannon.
Hey, what's going on, Dr. Deb?
Not
Excited to
too
be here.
much. Yes, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you for accepting the invitation to come to this channel. We are addressing fear and how we are releasing it and we are gaining freedom. We are liberated from it. So
That's right.
I want to read your wonderful bio so that the audience will know just what we know about you. Shannon Douglas is a seasoned governance, risk, and compliance professional with over 2 decades of experience specializing in identifying and mitigating technology and information security risk. An alumnus of Wilberforce University, Shannon's educational journey has fortified his foundation, contributing to his professional achievements and commitment to lifelong learning. Beyond the corporate realm, Shannon is a dedicated advocate for personal growth and resilience, bringing a unique blend of professional acumen and professional inspiration to his work and his writings. You can join Shannon on a journey of self discovery and transformative growth in his first book, Go Within So You Don't Go Without. Master your mind, conquer adversity, and live fearlessly. Yay! I'm so glad to read that bio. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so uh you know what? I know that you're such an amazing professional and that you have spent a lot, I mean, information, risk, and all of that mitigation technology. It sounds so very important. And I know that it has added to, maybe inspired you in terms of writing your book. But can you describe like a challenging project that you had to overcome some obstacles? Because mitigating security risk, that sounds very big.
Yeah, good question. Well, so the thing is with any project, there's problems, right? And a lot of times it all boils down to finding solutions for those problems, taking the right approach, understanding the people on the team and then running from there. For me, that was always a key to my success because I paid attention to the people on the project. So when there were difficult situations, I would understand, okay, well, what part of the situation are they feeling? So I can understand everyone's role and better address things that way, find out how aware folks are with regards to what we got to get done, and so um, from there, it puts everyone at a good starting point and then moves us all forward. That's been how it's been.
Yeah, yeah. So did it inspire you? Did your work professionally inspire you in any way to write this book?
Well, um, the book came about the fact that I love people. And me being on the journey that I am on in my life, um, I I care about what I can leave to contribute to someone else's growth and happiness. I think about my girls, and I'm a believer in cheat sheets and checklists. So, if I can give you something that you could use, or you could use a template or something that's going to advance your better version of you as opposed to starting from scratch, I want to do that. And that's what really hit home for me as far as writing the book is concerned. So I had started writing the book in 2017, and then, was lifing, and Shannon was a wild and crazy guy at times and didn't focus on certain things at certain times, but timing in the universe is perfect. So it was actually when I was unemployed and at a point of rediscovering myself again, when the spirit hit me and reminded me, you got something sitting that you should finish. And so I ran and listened.
Good for you. Good for you. And I like the fact that you said it's a cheat sheet. I love your book. All right. I have my little notes. Yes, yes, yes. We want everybody to see this is Go Within, so you don't go without. The title for me was astounding. I mean, it really just it resonated with me so much. And your book is very practical. It gives uh the readers very practical tips and strategies to go within so we don't go without. And one of my favorite chapters, and I just want to know how you came up with this chapter. It's called Fuck It and Face It. I'm just saying, okay? What inspired that chapter?
Well, there was a lot of that going on in my life. Here we are on the Fear to Freedom project. And so there were a lot of things on my path where I felt anxious about taking the next step. And I was feeding into the resistance, and instead of the evolution. Um, and it got to a point where I got tired of being afraid of doing certain things, to the point where I got tired of being afraid to do anything. Um, and it's still a work in progress. You pay attention to yourself, you understand, okay, what is holding me back from taking this step, or there are some obstacles that you just got to move out of the way, and you've tiptoed around them, or you didn't find yourself being truly authentic to yourself and address that issue with what's going on with you. Um, Sometimes you just got to say fuck it and face it, because you won't move past that. It will stay there. And if you don't like it, you know, move and get out the way.
Okay, exactly. And that's really a really good point. Like we have to face our fears, and that certainly was a really important chapter for me because I have lived in fear. This is the reason why I started this project, and I am my own Fear to Freedom project. And so in reading your book, it just really resonated with me, that chapter in particular. So many more chapters too. Can you tell me what was the challenging part about writing this book?
um, the challenging part about writing the book. Well, I'm a first time author, so it was just learning the process. But for me, that's at the beginning of everything, right? So, if you want to do something and you don't know how to go about it, that can be a challenge to anybody. But like anybody, you can learn the process. And so what I did was uh, figure it out, and then get everyone else's perspective. I went on YouTube and listened to people's nickels worth of free advice, and then I remembered myself in the process. I remembered that uh, okay, well, my brain works this way, but okay, I can do that, but that's not going to work for me. And so um, after a while, I just took the approach that worked for me, and wrote the book. Just categorizing things. I didn't even know the names of the chapters. I was concerned about content first. I thought about my message, what I want to say. Um, and from there, I was off and running.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You did great. You did great.
Thank you.
So, how do you define going within? For someone who, picks up this book and says, go within. So, like, what does that mean? How do you define going within? Why is that so crucial for our personal development?
Um, Very good question. Because it begins with you. Your being begins with you. Uh, no one can walk for you. No one can talk for you. I mean, some people allow them or allow others to do those things for you. But again, you have total control. It's a matter of expanding your self-awareness. That's beyond important. That's vital. Understand who you are, what you're about. Understand where you are today. Today. It's a matter of, like my introduction, it was for a reason. I want you to embrace your current state. Don't run away from who you are right now. We're going to pay attention to yourself like you've never done before. So it's a matter of understanding the truth about you. A lot of times we walk through life and we're unaware of what's going on within us. Sometimes you don't even know what kind of food is a new favorite food until you try it. And so there are a lot of us that are missing pieces that have been put on our path because of whatever imperfections that make us perfect. But we have to understand what's not working for us as well. So it's all about self-awareness, paying attention within yourself. Therefore, where you are starting from truly today, and then it's a matter of moving forward. Now that you have this new awareness, this new understanding, uh, go with it with reckless abandon and vigor. If you love yourself, if you truly love yourself, then do something about what pains you. If you had the ability to make it happen, would you? Then you're going to discover along the way, as you're learning more about yourself, that you have so much power that it's on you if you don't move forward, right? So again, I want everyone to zone in on that fact alone, that if you're not paying attention to yourself, start. And from there, you will know where to start with regards to transforming your life and making every day a good one above ground. I tell people, challenge yourself if you don't today. Look in the mirror and embrace that person, right? No matter what is going on, just understand the fact that you've made it to this point, to this day. So that's a beautiful thing, because what's not right today can be right tomorrow, or it can be right today.
Oh,
It's a transition of thought, and then your thought inspires some fire, and then with fire comes action because you move. There's so much vibration that you move, you channel within yourself. So it begins with self-awareness, and then from there, just go deep into your own soul and understand, okay, the thoughts that you have.
mhm,
Okay, is that thought serving me any good? If it's not totally, then remove the pieces and put those aside that do serve you well. and then the things that are considered waste, yeah, everything that doesn't make you feel good about that thought or that feeling, then flush it, get rid of it,
I
and
love
then
that.
and continue making it happen for yourself. You know, there are many facets of, what I'm writing in my book. I discovered over, times in my life, even
Mhm.
as a young kid. I thought about when I was frustrated growing up in Warren, Ohio, as a kid, like all kids, you get frustrated about something, you're feeling something, or, I'm nervous about talking to a girl, and I'm like, dang, I'm all jittery or whatever, I get on my bike and I, whatever that was occupying my mind, I was learning how to free my mind. It's like, I love that song by En Vogue, free your mind and the rest will follow. Because it's true. It's so true.
It is
Free
true.
your mind and the rest will follow. You keep yourself open to the
Yeah.
possibilities because they're there.
Yeah.
We'll block our possibilities if we keep our mind locked up, if we don't, open ourselves. At this point in my life, I'm embracing a new level of being open to the
Mm.
point where I'm going with the flow of a lot. I'm understanding, just for me, the courage going to that it's taking because I'm actively doing this. The courage that it's taking me to, be my authentic self unapologetically,
Mhm.
because I care. All right, damn, if that rubs somebody the wrong way, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I gotta feel good too, you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and so, just like they announce on the airplane, when those masks fall from the ceiling, before you go saving somebody else, put it on your own face.
Mhm.
Take
Mhm.
care of your face.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true though. You have to take care of yourself. If not, how can you serve humanity? How can you serve anybody else if you're
That's
not
right.
well?
That's
If you're
right.
not. Yeah, that's good. So there are chapter 15. Well, all of the chapters actually, really, really resonated with me because like you said, I'm actively evolving and practicing so that I can improve my well-being. But
Yeah.
limitless freedom practices is one that chapter just resonated because it gives practices, just for the audience, whoever is listening, and you see this book gives you some really, really simple steps, like
Yeah.
practicing your inner sanctuary meditation. That is very deep. Just close your eyes, start to breathe, start to visualize your inner sanctuary and find the peace within yourself. Explore that sanctuary. Like, what do you see that's going on, right? Return yourself to gratitude and just be thankful and grateful for just life, for breath. I just think that's such a practical, I mean, like a good practice that you
Yeah.
offered in chapter 15. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I think it's important that we do that. It's important that, again, it starts with and ends with self-awareness. When you know better, you do better. So know more about yourself, right? Um, it's imperative for our own personal growth. Now, if you're aware of something that's going on within yourself, and you know it's there, and hey, I like, if I know I need a haircut, and if I and I'm and my beard is growing out of whack and to the point where I'm itching, and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm getting nasty with myself, and I'm aware of the fact that I know I need to clean myself up to, feel better inside and out, then, and I don't do nothing, then again, that's on you. We all have choices. It's about making better decisions as you, again, are you knowing more about yourself? If you know better, you do better. So, become more consciously aware of how you feel, what's going on, and then make your decisions, based off of, what makes sense. If you don't feel good, then don't go down this path. Make a left turn at Albuquerque, right? So it's really that simple, but it's a challenge because it's us. Um, but what's truly important, and I appreciate you acknowledging the approach, because I want to keep it simple. Again, like I said, it starts with self-awareness, and once you're aware, okay, at one time people thought the world was flat based off of the information that they had, right? But further research and further involvement, you discover that the world is round, right? But the thing is, you got people who still are using those flat principles, knowing that that flat principle can't that approach can't be applied, and you move forward when it's round. We can't apply old principles and expect that, especially if they didn't work before. So it's a matter of saying, okay, I know this is not the path to take because I've been here before. I felt this. These are your landmarks in life. So again, make a left turn, and it doesn't feel good to me anymore. Go straight to glee and happiness. I had the best time of my life. Okay, well, how did you get there? Go on that path. Do it again. Continue, go explore those neighborhoods, get off those exits on your journey. Pay attention to how you felt and what works for you. And if it doesn't, you probably already know a lot of the solution is in the problem. And so that's why it's important to go within, because it begins with you. And,
Yes,
your life is what you make it. And I know it's cliches, but,
it's
once we
true.
discover the power, we can.
Mhm.
So, I charge y'all to go for
How do you are so deep. Thank you so much. You've given a lot of
it.
wisdom to us today, and I am grateful for that. How do you address the balance between personal and professional growth? So this book, Go Within, could definitely be used in a professional arena. How could someone balance that? How do you balance your professional and personal growth?
Um, I balance the professional and personal because the same person's doing both.
Yes,
Right?
yes, right. Okay,
The
okay.
same person is doing both. So
Nice.
I'm the same person right now with this paisley shirt on, ready to rock on at any time at the office. You
Yeah,
know,
but you
and,
know
and
what? And that is
so
true. So what about people who code switch, right? Because that's really good to be your authentic self. You're teaching us to be who you are no matter where you are.
well, yeah, because then the dilemma begins.
Mm,
There's the strain, there's the higher blood pressure. Now there's an additional level, that you're shoveling through. There's
mm,
another layer that's weighing you down.
mm,
So you want to shred your layers. You want to peel back the onion and get down to the rooter, the tutor of who you are, and then say, okay, why do I like that person? For some of you, why don't I like that person? And explore that, you know. if you're here this far, this long in your life, and you have a sense of awareness of at least that much about yourself, when you can say, well, I don't know how I feel about myself. Okay, great. That you at least you know that you don't know. So then take steps to knowing. I encourage everybody to take what I call the simplest approach. For me, it was like Jay-Z said, what I eat don't make you shit. So I'm thinking about that from that perspective. How much am I allowing everything outside of me influence how I feel, what I do, all of that, right? How much control am I giving everything outside of myself? Um, it's incredible when you discover the amount of power that you have, once you keep it. You a lot of us don't, and we give our power to other folks and other things and other emotions that don't serve us, right? Those things that don't serve us, they're sinister laughing, like, and we're just feeling everything that we don't want to feel. So, if you don't like it, then change it. And that's, I we could say it as, and then what I'm getting folks to get into the practice, I want all of you to take this approach that, you know, it, it can be as easy as simply as saying it, but you have to take the first step. you know when you get on the bike at the first time, it's wobbly as a mug.
Yeah.
You But then, you keep pedaling, and if you really want to ride that bike because you see your friends riding, going to the store or going to another friend's house, and you're tired of being that person that's not able to get there because you're out of breath because you had to run, you were afraid to fall
Yeah.
while riding your bike. You didn't want to be seen with your training wheels, so but I'm not ready to ride with them yet. Don't slow your own progress.
Mm. Mm.
Go for it as soon as you're aware of it. Follow the omens, just like in Santiago was doing in The Alchemist. For
Mm.
everybody, it's another great book. My book's great, but The Alchemist is great too. Check that out.
Mm.
But yeah, you want to pay attention to what the universe is. What I'm discovering is, the more you go with the natural order of things, the easier life will be, the more pleasing life will be. When you feel like, I don't need to do that, okay, that's probably because you don't need to do it. And then, then you can go down another path. It's as easy as listening, and then, using that mind power to understand, okay, well, what state am I in? Am I not feeling good? Is there a certain reason why I'm contemplating something that I shouldn't do? Okay, let me take a step back from that. Keep peeling back the onion. Don't be afraid to do that, and go deeper with understanding who you are, because you know no one else is going to. So, your reactions to everything outside of you are going to be improved when you're well aware of what's motivating that reaction. You can improve your reactions to the outside world if you are aware of what's triggering it. And if it's something that's old, then, it may need a purging, a whole lot of purging going on. Get rid of a whole bunch of stuff that you understand that has just been collecting dust. It's taking up space. It's taking up mental space. So, spiritual space. You're not allowing, the what is the true you to happen, to be, because you're allowing everything else to be in the way. So yeah, that's where it's at.
That's really deep, Mr. Douglas. Thank you so much. It is because I'm, I've been all over the book, and of course I'm going all over the book, and that brings me to chapter 4. What do you believe about yourself?
Yeah.
And so, yes, and what we believe about ourselves is how we actually see the world as well. You see? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's really important. I underlined something. It says it is a subtle, this is self-awareness. It is a subtle realization that we can change the world as we experience it by changing our belief systems and our
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
And then you touched on this. You're answering every question before I get there, but you touched on this, understanding your consciousness and being aware of your emotional states,
Yeah.
both on good and bad days. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that is so very true because I am living it. I'm actually living out, and I can tell you that I'm actually doing the practices in your book. I can be honest, and that I am. Yes, I am. And they are helping me. They are helping so much. I really, just encourage everybody to get it. It's a small book, but it packs so much power. And you can get that book on gowithinyou.com. Just the title, Go Within You. You need to definitely copyright this thing here because this is the truth. We always have to go within ourselves. So I really appreciate you and what you're doing here. How has being a father and a grandfather inspired this work? You know what? You are so loved in your tribe. What
Wow.
is this work done for that?
I look at the pictures of my girls and my grandkids, Ayana, Shana, and Lisa, and Nova, and Aiden, and Solo. They make me proud because of who they are. Because they're all cool people. Like, if I didn't know them in life, like, I would kick it with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally
That
get
is
you.
really cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, to see them at birth and, become who they are, that's, it's been amazing. It's been a blessing, because it's been a journey, um, it's been an interesting journey. So it's like seeing them and their evolution, uh, seeing your daughter Akila, you know,
Mhm. Cool kid.
cool kids.
Young
I
ladies.
mean,
Young ladies.
straight.
They're
No, no,
grown.
no, no, no. Listen. No. Not kids in the sense of kids, because
Yeah,
see, I'm a cool kid
I am
to
too.
this day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Same, same.
So, the fact that our children
Mhm.
are our young adults are part of the cool kids club is cool.
Yes,
The
yes.
fact that we can just chill, hang out, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's true.
You're not thinking like, well, I don't want to hang out with it. In my mind, it's
Yeah.
like, well, why not? We're going to have a good time. It's
Yeah.
expected. And so that's a blessing, you know, it's a blessing to see, the evolution,
Mhm.
and the ambition.
Mhm.
That's what excites me.
Mhm.
I love the ambition. I love the drive. I see how, every one of the girls, are, saying, okay, this is what I want. I'm going to
Mhm.
go after it.
Mhm.
And because I remember that was me too, you
Yeah.
know. And you always kind of you always like the stuff that you see in them, that originated from you, or you can whatever you could see yourself in
Yeah.
someone else. You like that part, the most.
Mhm.
And with all four of them, I am proud that they are just exploding through life. They're facing their fears. They're doing a lot of saying F it and face it. they're
Mhm.
they're they're taking the necessary steps to you know figure themselves out,
Mhm.
because we all have to do it in our own way.
Mhm.
you know uh, the one thing that I've learned, and I tell my boys this all the time, like about parenting. you know it doesn't come with an owner's manual. You don't get an instruction manual to be a parent. You pay attention, and at the time, you're just in guard and protective mode as much as possible. But then as they grow, you don't understand that they're developing their own mode and their own state of being, because there's time outside of you, right? You think about your influence when they're with you, and those times that they're with you, but then there's influence outside of you. You have to consider yourself, right? I mean, my mom and dad, I love them, with an immense, incredible, everlasting love. You know, Not only did they bring me here, in this version of me, the beautiful thing is that they left trails of guidance and wisdom for me along my path. And there were times where I used to think in the past that, wow, if I had just got out of my own way and just didn't let pride or whatever it was, you
Ego.
know, yeah, it was
It's
that
our
ego. I'm,
ego.
I'm
It's
so
our
busy trying to
ego.
be grown. You can't tell me nothing.
Yes, it's our ego. That's all.
It could have saved me, so much
Yeah.
space, time, energy,
Yeah.
but at the same time, my experience. So it's never a waste.
Right. Exactly.
It's
Mhm.
never a waste.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy with the person that I see in the mirror, and I embrace that. Um,
Good.
it's a thing of, okay, now I could have avoided this if I had have done that. Well, guess what? You didn't. And look what came out of that.
Mhm.
And now you can maybe approach it even deeper than if you just approached it from just listening to someone else on the outside of you. There's a lot that you'll say, okay, what do you remember along that process?
Mhm.
What voices did you hear in your head? This is where I want to get people to. I want you to understand that the universe is so vast, but it's it's so compact, right? The tattoo on my back is a revive of what you know Bob Marley said, and it's true. We are a universe within ourselves. I am a universe within myself is tatted on my back. And so I pay attention as I am living on this planet and understanding the decisions that I'm making and thinking more consciously about not just in that moment what I felt, but let's understand, okay, what thoughts were running through my mind, what what's what spiritual entities were probably trying to reach me. What voices did I hear? I mean, for real. You want to take that level of investigation and then understand, okay, in the midst of that confusing moment in my life, if I had to chose this path, okay, something was telling me to go down that path and I ignored it. Why? Okay, let's not do that anymore. Again, remember those landmarks. Make your life simpler for you by paying attention to you. You're going to know what you like and what you dislike, and there are things that are keeping us from awesome relationships. There are things that are because you don't have a good relationship with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Do I?
again, it's a lot that stems from taking that step back. You're the director of your own movie. You're the you're the coach of your star player. You know,
Mm.
when you take a step back, because when you're living this life and you're walking your walk, you're talking your talk, you're the star player. You're your star player, baby. You know,
Mhm.
you're going to pass the ball to you all the time.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things that you don't see when you're on the floor. And that's where that sense of self-awareness comes in. And that's when you could be the coach of that star player. And that's even more of an amazing feat
Mm.
to accomplish, when you can step outside of yourself and understand, okay, well, damn, I've been afraid of this for a long time, you
Mhm.
know. Like the moment where I got tired of holding people's stuff at the bottom of the roller coaster, I'm like, look, I'm glad everybody's stuff is secure, but damn it, I want to yell and scream too. I want to throw my arms up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, because life isn't about holding everybody else's baggage,
Oh, yes.
right? You think about the influence that, hits you. You think about what weights that you carry, what stimulated those, what 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 sparked that, you know. If it's from outside of yourself, that's the first thing you need to do in the process of you need to consider the source, right? Okay, well, if that's coming from outside of me, then all right, well then it's not serving me well and it's coming outside of me. So okay, there's more and more reasons that as you're evaluating all of this, you can understand that it's time to get rid of it. If something that you think is coming from, because when I say outside of you, it could be something that someone said or it was an action, you know or a non-action, and then you start paying attention to the conversations that you're having in your mind. you know Start participating in those conversations. Just don't let the conversations happen, because that's the problem. We just let the conversations happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to come up in there and be like, well, I object.
Yeah. I love that. Yes,
I
yes,
don't
yes.
like feeling like this, so I want to do
Yes.
something else. Let's talk about that.
Take your power back.
That's
That's really good. We are running out of time, and I could talk to you forever. And you are
right.
so invited back to the Theater Freedom Project. I just want to talk about this practice that is here in the book,
Yeah.
and this really resonated with me as well. It says to write a letter to your future self,
Mm,
and you can write a letter to your future self and tuck it away for at least a year. And in writing that letter, you can share with your future self all of your desires, you overcoming any challenges, right? Put your goals and aspirations. You're just writing a letter to who you are becoming, and then tuck
yeah.
it away, and then come back a year later and look at the evolution, your evolution. That is such an amazing practice for everybody to do.
You know
And
what's
so
dope about that? So
what?
it stemmed from how I had to learn how to study, right?
Mm,
And so like my mind was all over the place when I was a kid, and then so there would be passages or whatever in our textbooks, and I wasn't I discovered, thank goodness, I discovered how my brain works. Just me reading something and saying, okay, it's going to process. No, I had to
mhm,
do more. It's either if I didn't underline it, which I did, I would underline or highlight, and try and erase it if I had to get this book back. But then, there was also the piece of writing it down.
sorry.
Because right, well, I mean, people say you can't damage the books, whatever, man.
Yeah.
So, but it was, for me, I would write it down. That was another way of processing it,
Yeah.
to see it, touch it, like BMF, see it, touch it, attain it. And so, for me, it was like I was writing it down. So I'm reading it again, but
Mhm,
now I have to know what I'm writing to write it.
mhm.
So, so now it's like, again, in bite-sized chunks of processing, I'm doing it. Same thing applies with the letter to yourself or anything that you write, to yourself. You're making yourself more aware and more conscious of what where you at right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so when you start writing it and you're saying, okay, this is what it is and what you want. So then you're actually like, now the wheels are really turning. When it's churning like that, there's energy, everything is electricity. So now you're churning energy, just thinking about what you want. And now now it's the energy that's being generated by writing it down, and now
Mhm.
you're really processing it another kind of way. And so, yeah, those type approaches, I just, again, I think about how what has helped me.
Yeah.
It's worked for me. I'm sure if you give it a shot, it'll work for you. um and I just invite everyone to go for it. Why not? Por qué no?
Okay, no. Why not? Why not? Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you. I know that you recently had a birthday, and you,
Yeah, turn 50.
the big 50, you are 50 official, and we welcome you so much to the club. And
Yeah.
you made a shift in your professional career, so you are flying around the country as a corporate trainer. How do you like that? How are you sharing your book? How are you doing?
Yeah, I love it. So, I have a contract with Prior Learning, and I'm also, for anyone out there that's watching, if you're looking for a speaker, I will be happy to come aboard and make it happen for you. If there's a need for workshops, like I'm delivering a lot now, the seminars are really, really fulfilling, for being that I give seminars on a number of topics from, um, like recently I was doing something of, I did a seminar on inventory management, from inventory management to emotional intelligence to negotiating to delivering exceptional customer service, how to deal with, challenging uh, emotional times in the workplace. Whatever it is, there's always something that's pointing back to a component about what I've written in my book, um, because in all of those facets in life, all of those things, whether you're a project manager, and I do trainings on that as well, it begins with that person, to manage your time effectively, you need to be aware of what's going on in your mind. You know, is it, do you feel scattered? Okay, let's again embrace your current state at all times. Before you take any steps, before you make any moves, you need to understand where you are. I believe that's what's been the golden ticket for me. I want to give everyone else that golden ticket as well in all of my seminars. Um,
Mm.
I, I enjoy that, giving those nuggets. And I do share the book. We play
Yeah.
games during my seminars. It's just not me up there talking,
Yeah.
they're like, okay, blah, blah, blah. But, we'll play a game. We'll do like a Kahoot. And
Mhm.
so the winner of the game, if we're in person, I normally give a autographed copy of the book.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's good. Good, good, good. Well, I like to ask all of the guests before they leave here, and you did share, I think you were answering questions before I got to them, but what are you most excited about in life right now?
Um, I'm excited about the fact that it's already done, and I'm just walking through life now seeing what's already done.
Mm.
I'm 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 excited about the fact that, I'm actively manifesting a lot, and there have been some adjustments, to say the least. When I wrote the book, I was unemployed for a significant amount of time, and it was scary, but then it's like I'm adjusting, my reaction to what I have always desired. Once again, when you read or listen to The Alchemist, you'll understand, that the universe conspires to fulfill your every desire. And so, as the world is spinning, the universe is spinning, we're all in motion. Everything is in motion. And it's continuously in motion. And so, as I am in my present day and state, I'm most excited about taking the steps to see the next day and the next day, to live out those days and understand what it was that got me here, and which is going to propel me forward, because I desire uh, I desire some things, and so I'm learning a lot along the way, and as I am again expanding my openness and my awareness, I'm learning how to do a better job of paying attention in this world, and listen to the omens, and follow the path that I'm supposed to be on, as opposed to misleading myself, right? The next 50 years is going to be excellent. I'm going to see 100. I see it.
I see it. You know what? You are so inspiring. You really are. Thank you so much. Your book, thank you for coming, carving out time to come to my podcast. I really appreciate it. And I thank
I
you so much
appreciate
for your work. Your work is amazing. It has really impacted my life. You have. And I'm just so grateful to be in your tribe. I love you so much. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. Love you back.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is a great thing, and it's one person at a time, right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
why not start with yourself?
Well, you are serving humanity in such a great way. I'd like to thank you so much for coming to the Fear to Freedom Project today. This is Go Within so you do not go without. We love you here. If you are here for the first time, welcome to the Fear to Freedom Project. We are bringing you real people with real solutions to help us in this human experience. And I'd like to welcome you. If you're a returning champion, thank you so much. I love you. I'm Dr. Deb. Peace and love.